Alright everyone, Joe Rizoli here with my brother Joe. Another on the road video utilizing the time we have throughout the day to get things done. And the way you get things done with video is you do it when you're on the run. Okay, well, we had a nice topic we discussed last time here, and we're going to continue on a different subject matter. And Joe wanted to talk about some articles that were in the paper. And which one you want to talk about
the
first?
ICE one.
ICE arrest?
Yeah.
At courts? Okay. Yeah. There was an article in the Boston Globe talking about ICE arrest at courts decried. So here's what's happening. We got these illegal immigrants that are going to court, all right? And the ICE agency, okay, who is there to protect our country, are going to the courts to arrest these people that have warrants or detainers or whatever on them. Now, one of the reasons why they're doing this, which people don't understand, and they explained it, is the fact that when an illegal immigrant goes into the court, just like all of us, all right, we're frisked down, right? Pretty much, we have to go through the scanners. We have no metal on us. We're pretty much not a risk factor, okay? So the ICE agents feel, wow, in court, these people aren't going to have guns and knives or whatever. They're going to be a little more protective of things, all right? All right, things will be, better for them. So that's why they're going to court to get them. Plus, there they are. They're in court, all right? So now, the people, the typical liberal loony bird lefties, bitching and moaning because they're getting arrested in court, and they're claiming that, these people, they're going to court, on a certain thing, and they don't want to be bothered, but if we start arresting them, they're not going to show up at court. Well, let me put it this way. A lot of them don't show up in court anyway, okay? So I don't know what they're bitching and moaning about. Most of the illegal immigrants, especially if it's a crime that could put them in jail, do not show up for court. Understand? Now, if it's just a basic little driving issue without a license, no insurance, sure, they'll go to court because they pay a fine. Hey, why not? They're not paying for insurance anyway. They're not paying for a license anyway. So what's a couple $100 fine to them? All right? They figure if we get caught a couple times, it's worth it not to have a license. It's worth it not to have anything because, we're just going to pay the money back anyway, so who cares? So this is where we stand with the courts. Now my brother Joe can take it away.
Well, my question, first of all, is a detainer means there's something more seriously going on in this person's life. There's got to be something bigger than whatever they're going to the court for. So the people should be saying, well, what's the detainer for? The detainer could be for anything. It could be a warrant for an arrest in another, state. It could be something related to a domestic abuse, and the guy forgot about it, and all of a sudden now he's in court. And now as I said, oh, we got him, he's in court. This just recently happened to a woman. She was drunk. She called up something. She was drunk now. She called up about her neighbor doing something, and then they talked to her, and they found out from her name, they found out she had a warrant on her. This is a white, I believe, a white person, right? And she had a warrant, and they arrested her. So what is the issue here? If they can do this to white people,
or Americans,
or whatever, then they should be able to do it to anybody. The illegal immigrants are asking for an exemption for them that no American even has.
Right. They want special privileges.
Yeah, special.
Okay? And the fact that if you're actually trying to obey the law, they're getting all mad now because why are you obeying the law? We don't want you to obey the law. We want to be able to get away with doing what we want. And like I said, some of them have immigration detainers on them. They could have been kicked out of the country already.
Right. They could have. And that's chances what it is.
And they're supposed to be gone.
Right.
But they're not gone. They overstayed their visas, right, and now they overstayed the court order to get the hell out of the country.
Right. But what gets my ass is, oh, they didn't break the law. They never did anything wrong. Yeah. It's like as though, well, why is there a detainer?
Well, here's the thing about the illegal immigrants, and people got to understand something. They already have done something wrong by being here, okay? Let's just get that fact straight. All right. First of all, they're in the country illegally. They don't have the proper documentation to be here. So for them to exist, what they do is they use false documentation. Okay, that is a felony. Do you understand that, you liberal loony birds? It's a felony.
Criminal offense.
Okay, now, if they are working and they have a job, that is against the law too, because immigrants are not supposed to work in this country legally unless they have the proper work permits. Okay? You just can't walk into the country and have a job as an illegal immigrant. It doesn't work that way. Even a regular immigrant, when they come here, they have to have verification of what they're doing here, and if they are working, that all has to be documented. Okay? But the illegal immigrants that come through the border, they feel for some reason that they're special, that they don't have to have any of these things. They can walk into this country and do what they want. Now, I'm going to give an example of this. There was a fella that was in the paper, a couple weeks ago, and he was an American, and he was going to Brazil. Now, this fellow, he had a passport, legal passport, okay? He gets down to Brazil. He forgot one thing. He didn't have a visa. So they pulled him in and they detained him, and he went through the old, what are you doing here, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's the point. But isn't it okay now? Think about this. He had a proper, passport, but he didn't have a visa. The illegal immigrants that are coming here illegally, they have no passports, they have no visas, they have no nothing. And so they got to invent these things. So they make false licenses, and they make false visas, and they make false whatever else, maybe even passports. So, once they get caught with those documents, then it's a felony. But apparently it's not a problem with the liberal loony bird lefties out there who think that everybody can just walk into this country and just do whatever they want, when we already know, okay, with Brazil, that we cannot just walk into Brazil and go and get a job there. We cannot just get and buy a house there. Same with Mexico. These countries, you have to go through a proper channel to do these things. But wait a minute, the United States, we don't have to. No, they want to be able to do whatever they want, not have to answer to anyone. So this is the problem that we're having with the illegal immigrants, that they're coming here thinking that they can do whatever they want because the loony, lefty, liberal Democrats mostly, and the rhino Republicans, they are trying to say it's okay, you can break the law, we'll make an exception for you.
Which brings us into a topic that comes off of this, is when they come into the country, we have programs like the ESL program, the adult ESL program, that is more than happy to teach these people English. And of course the state reps feel, well, that's great that we can teach these immigrants English, even though they're illegal and they're not supposed to be in the country, which is in violation of federal law called aiding and abetting. But they think it's okay that they can help these illegal immigrants learn English. They're breaking the law. They're breaking federal law. Which brings my other point up, is that I just sat down last night. Jimmy's going to deliver my letter to the city council in Framingham, telling them that they are in violation of federal law by having this adult ESL program continue to exist. In spite of our Old Town meeting for a couple of years that asked this program to give more facts about the immigration status of the people in it. Right. Because if the immigration status isn't given, and these people are illegal, well...
Again, here's another example that the school department and the city in general think that we don't have to obey that law. Right. Simple. No, we don't have to obey that law. Sure, they can get involved with this ESL class if they're an illegal immigrant. Hey, so what? So what that the federal government says you can't have people in any type of program that gets any assistance from anyone if they're illegal. You can't do that. That's the whole point. But for some reason, they don't think it's a problem. They want to make their own rules. They want to make their own laws. They want to break their own laws. But, we've been bitching and moaning about this for how long? We're trying to get something done about it. But, Framingham, They're very particular in what laws they want to obey. Okay, I'm going to give you two good examples of that, just to show you how corrupt Framingham is. We have schools in Framingham. One of the schools is called Keefe Tech. And on the school committee of Keefe Tech, there was a guy, his name is Mulvey, okay? I forgot his first name, all right? It might be Marty Mulvey, I'm not sure. But anyway, it's a Mulvey person, very tied in with the Democratic Party in Framingham. Well, anyway, he is on the Keefe Tech school committee. He gets caught for cocaine, for drugs. He gets caught for cocaine and drugs. Well, guess what? To this day, he's still on the school committee of Framingham Keefe Tech. Can you imagine? That got covered up somehow. Never heard anything about it.
That got buried.
That got buried. All right. Another example in Framingham. Okay, we have a health department, and one of the persons on the health department, his name is Michael Hugo. Very nice guy, very personable guy. But he went to court and got found guilty of some sort of.
I don't know. He got.
He got his law license taken.
He got suspended for being a lawyer.
Okay, right. So he was a lawyer, and what happened is he must have made a deal, and the deal was this: I will stop and get out of my law profession, or go to jail.
Right. Yeah,
so he made a deal to stop his law profession.
Right.
But he was found guilty. Found guilty now.
Well, by not a court. I don't think they. Just remember, they kicked him out of being a lawyer. But that's how serious the act was.
But the whole point
the next step would be he would have went to jail.
Okay, so obviously they made a deal.
And this is with a family, his own family.
Right, so here is a lawyer that did some bad things.
Right.
Okay, and guess what? He's still on the health department.
That's right.
Okay, he's still there because the Democrats in Framingham and probably Ashland and all these other towns that are run by the Democrats, they get away with things that nobody else would have gotten away with. I would have went to jail if I was a lawyer and did what Michael Hugo did.
He was disbarred.
If I got caught with drugs, like Mr. Mulvey did, on the school committee, of the Keefe Tech school committee, he should have went to jail or whatever. But no, he's related to not famous people, well-known people, tied in with the Democratic Party, and they can get off. You see how it works? The Democrats in Massachusetts get away with everything, but anyone else, they would go to jail. So that's what pisses me off about what's happening in Massachusetts, of course in Framingham. We see there's a double standard. Some people can get away with things, some people don't. Okay? And myself, I've seen myself, what's happened, when I've been dealing with court situations. Joe gets assaulted by a priest. Okay? We have a videotape camera.
Showing it.
Okay? What was the priest's name?
Pranzo.
Father Pranzo, way back when. We have a video of it showing Pranzo manhandling my brother Joe. There was at least 5 or 6 cops at that meeting at St. Tarcisius Auditorium that day. And there was even a representation from the Attorney General's office there that day. But guess what? Nobody saw anything.
Right.
And Joe was in the front seat, sitting there in that meeting when Father Pranzo came over and manhandled and attacked him. That was an assault. We took him to court. The judge, obviously tied in with all the people in the town.
Catholic Church and
all that too. He let Father Pranzo go.
He didn't even look at the video.
But can you imagine? We had a video of what happened.
Showing the camera. The camera. It doesn't show Pranzo, but it shows the camera.
But anyway, we had witnesses to show what happened. The police department did not comment on it. They didn't want to get involved. They covered it up. That's how our police department works. Okay? Another example I'll give you. All right? I'm running for state rep. Okay? I'm out front of Walgreens on Route 9 in Framingham collecting signatures. I pretty much almost had them all, all the signatures I needed on that sheet. A big fella, Jewish fella, comes over and he signs my thing, put his name on it, because I wanted to get on the ballot. And then he says, well, what's your name? And he's, I don't know why he didn't know my name in the beginning, but anyway, he finds out who I am, and then he grabs me and he goes, take my name off that list, and he starts trying to rip the paper up. Can you imagine? Now, once you take that paper, if you write on it or rip it or whatever, it's invalid. This fellow Jew guy, okay, he was a Jew, All right, he tried to, he assaulted me. There were 3 calls to the police. The police came down. I asked for them to go look at the video right in front of Walgreens. No video. We don't have a video of that happening. No, there's no video. Well, anyway, long story short, I took the guy to court because the police wouldn't. Okay, I took him to court. It's not the judge at this point, but it's the clerk of courts to see if we have a case. I'm sitting there by myself. He has his lawyer there, okay, because he knew he assaulted me. Well, anyway, the clerk of court says, "Oh, no big deal. Nothing happened. Just shake hands, and let it go." Really? Okay. If that was me, if I attacked a Jew, okay, a Jew who was doing that, they would have got me for hate crimes, anti-Semitism. I mean, you name it, they would have nailed me. I'd probably be still in jail. Okay. But as you can see, double standard in Framingham. Whatever happens to the Democrats, Jews, whatever, they can get away with
immigrants.
Immigrants, whatever happens to the Rizolis, you can shit all over them. Who cares? That's what they do in our town. And again, we've had several court cases. There's only one court case that I actually made out pretty well on, and that was the Bill Taluba case. And he was the guy that took my identity, put me on Craigslist, and he was soliciting sex from guys, making it look like I was the guy. And so he had a lot of things he did wrong there. Well, anyway, what happened with good old Bill, the pervert there, the police actually made a raid on his house, took his computer, and for 3 years the case went on. For 3 years, okay, the case went on, and he was finally, he didn't go before a jury. He pleaded out, okay? He pleaded out, and he got just a slap on the wrist that he had to go to anger management class. So I kind of made out on that big deal.
Did he bring up the Holocaust and all that?
Yeah, oh yeah, and by the way, Tilden, the lawyer who represented him, who actually was one of the people that ran for mayor in Framingham, Tilden, okay, he ends up defending him. In this case, he brings up that Mr. Rizoli, he doesn't believe in the Holocaust. What the hell does that have to do in a court case of someone stealing my identity? Nothing. But the Jews know how to manipulate. Even though Tilden isn't a Jew, I don't think he is. Maybe he is. I don't know.
Probably is.
But he definitely tried to manipulate the court system by bringing something into that court system that had nothing to do with what was going on. That's a typical Jew thing they do. When I ran, for state rep, when I ran for selectman, they did the same thing. What was the first thing they brought up? Oh, Jim Rizoli is tied in with revisionists and Holocaust deniers. We can't have a person like him, in the politics of our town. You see?
Right.
So that's how it works, folks. We have double standards in my town. Again, if you don't belong to the Democratic Party, forget it. Okay, something happens to you, you go to jail. If you're not Jewish, the Jews get off. Democrats get off. All the people that are liked in the town get off. If you're a truth type of person like us,
Jimmy,
telling the truth,
Just think what happened with us with the illegal immigration when we started our CC File group back in 2003. We had a meeting in November. We had about maybe 12 people at the library, and after that meeting, big article in the paper.
Racist,
and then some shithead asshole. Spanish woman said, gee, maybe, because I was working for the town at that time, maybe Mr. Rizoli violated people's civil rights by being at that meeting and having that meeting. And so they did an inquiry. The town spent $4,200 or something.
$4,000 or $5,000.
Yeah, $4,500 something dollars to do an inquiry. They asked me some questions to see my videotape or some foolishness. Oh no, he didn't. He had his rights to have that meeting. Can you imagine that? The selectman would just tickle pink with Charlie Sositsky. He was just tickle pink to do an inquiry and find out what our town.
But anyway, Joe was found, obviously, no problem, innocent.
Yeah.
And,
and it cost the town $4,500.
Yeah, the town paid for that. But the thing is, eventually, Joe got fired.
Well, yeah, I got
he
let-
lost
yeah.
his he
Right.
he lost his
Yeah,
job
that's
because
true, too.
that's the way the things are done in the town.
They played games on that too.
Yeah. So the point I think you all can see is how corrupt. First of all, the city of Framingham is one of the most corrupt cities. Okay, it's a passive aggressive corruption. See, what they do is they kind of just, that's no big deal. Just kind of, forget about it. So there's immigration laws. Let the people in. We got to help them. That's how Framingham works, okay? Except when they want to take you down, then it works really by the rules and by the law. So anyway, that's just that. Anything else we want to?
Well,
That
was one.
That was one article.
How much? Where do you want to go? How far do you want to go?
About Yawkey Way.
Oh yeah, Yawkey Way. Here is since what 1977, the Boston Red Sox have had Yawkey Way. The name was changed, whatever it was before.
It's a street next to the.
The baseball park. And now they want to change the name to get rid of the Yawkey name because they think the guy was in it. He was against the.
He's against this. He was in
Black, yeah.
He was racist.
He was racist.
Yeah.
And they're having this big thing now. Well, maybe we should change the name Yawkey Way. Meanwhile, Yawkey, now, I really don't care one way or another about him. But, they had millions and millions of dollars being donated to helping kids and this and that. They had a whole thing dedicated to that. And they want to change the name of the street. And all these people are coming up, some of them are defending it, saying, well, why? I mean, this man's in the paper, Jim Lomborg, even one of the black preachers was saying, this isn't right. Because if you do this, that means you're dirtying up his name. You know what I mean? And it's like, why do these blacks, what is the matter with you people?
Well, the whole point is we already are seeing within the country, they're taking down statues of Robert E. Lee, anything associated itself with the Confederacy, all that's supposed to be racist, even though it had nothing to do with it. In Framingham, we had a group of liberal loony nut jobs that wanted to change the name of a street, Indian Head Road.
Yeah, right.
They wanted to change it to Algonquin or whatever because it's desecrating the name of Indians, Indian Head Road, that's a bad thing, and so they wanted to change it, but they decided, well, we'll just put a plaque there. I mean, can you imagine? Let's say there's 50 people living on that street. What they would have had to done? They would have had to change wills. They would have had to change all these things because of the fact that there was a change.
Well, it could cause a huge problem in their life. Their license has that street on, and all of a sudden they get pulled over. Well, what's the story here?
Yeah. So anyway, again, showing you an attempt by the liberal loony birds out there trying to get their way and doing things that are just completely insane. And that's the whole point. Why we like to be at least on TV here to get to say what we have to say because we were stopped in Framingham. All right, Framingham stopped us from being on TV because they lied against us and they said things and they did things that were completely illegal, but they get away with it because the people that run the cable station of Framingham are the most corrupt people you ever found on the face of this earth. But they get away with it. See, they can get away with it. Nobody can touch them, okay?
Yeah, they're untouchable.
Untouchables. We have untouchables in Framingham. I try to bring the case up. Oh, no, you can't talk about that.
They don't even answer emails. They don't answer nothing.
Imagine that. So they banned Joe and I for life for being on cable TV.
I asked the question, why am I banned off of cable? I don't know why.
I mean, for life. You think we murdered somebody.
What did I do? I have no response. No response.
So as you can see, the town of Framingham, the city of Framingham now is so corrupt in how they do. And you think it's getting better city-wise? I mean, think about this city-wise, okay? We have a mayor, okay? I call her Madam Butterfly.
Yeah.
She's not even there. She's out running around talking to people and meeting people, all right? And she's appointing people to post in the town without the approval of city council.
Right.
Can you imagine? What she's doing is she's getting people into office that are doing her job. That's what they're doing. What the hell? She's one of the highest paid people in the town. She can't do the job? Oh no, she's got to hire her cronies to get in there so we can waste $200,000 of our money. Okay, that's how the new mayor's working out in Framingham.
She's the highest paid mayor in Massachusetts.
Yeah, highest paid mayor in Massachusetts that doesn't want to work. She wants to get everybody else to do the work for her. Really? I mean, really not.
That's all right. She's getting a letter from me tomorrow, so.
Well, whatever. But the point is, Framingham is so corrupt, all right? And I hope the city council, you know, in their, you know, meetings and stuff, you know, get it together. But who the heck knows? I kind of doubt it if that's going to happen. But you know, they could be so corrupt here too, because city council is just a reflection of the town.
Well, they don't answer my emails, so I wrote up something last night that's being given to 11 city council members and the mayor, all in envelopes. Jimmy's going to bring it down and give it to them, so they have actually a hard copy of a letter describing the ESL problem in Framingham. And now let's see what they do with this.
Yeah, they don't respond. I mean, you know, it's funny because I thought I would go through my rep in my district. Okay, she's a Brazilian girl, Margaret. Okay, Shepherd. And I emailed her because I had a tree branch. A lot of tree branches fell from the storm in my front yard. The tree is really owned by the town, and it's now all the tree limbs are in the front, right in the yard, and on the sidewalk and everything. And I said, well, look at Margaret, since you're representing me, how about you sending this off to the, the tree department or whatever, and see if they can do something about it. I mean, I actually called too, but the tree branches are still there today. You know, I know they're busy. I'm not going to go crazy on it, but the point is, you can't walk on the sidewalk because all the tree branches are on the sidewalk. But she never got back to me to say, thank you, I will look into it. You know why? Because the Rizolis don't exist in the town. All right, we have no voice in the town anymore. They completely shut us off.
I've sent her emails asking her about since she's Brazilian coming into the country.
Well, that's a whole nother story.
And her legal status, and she's never even got back to me.
She's got some issues here.
Yeah, she's not going to answer those questions.
She's, you know, look at. She's definitely got some issues in what she did to get into this country, because we think there's problems there. But it doesn't matter because, you know, Framingham allows all corruption. They don't care. Okay, you can be as corrupt as you want. If you're a Democrat, you get away with it. Okay? If you're a part of a truth movement of some sort like we are, no, you don't get away with it. So this is how things are done in Framingham. You know, we try to get our voice out, but they're doing their best, you know, to stop us. They already stopped us on Framingham Cable TV, most corrupt TV station in the world here. I tell you, you couldn't get any worse than these people. You might as well send them to communist Russia 50 years ago. These people would blend right in there very nicely on the way they handle things and deal with people. So anyway, well, anything else we got?
Well, the one about the sex guy. The teacher at Swampscott. He's a principal, because I'm going to tie this into.
There's a teacher in Swampscott who he became transgender. All right, doesn't matter. Just talk about it. He was transgender. He came out because he's transgender. All right, so there he is. A nice picture of him. Showing a picture of him right there, if you can see it. All right, nice dressed up in his faggy clothes. All right.
Thank God the people in Swampscott now. It just has. They don't want this guy back as principal because of other issues. But can you imagine this guy's going through a sex change and he's the principal? What is that going to do with the kids?
No, he's a superintendent.
Oh, superintendent? What is that going to do with the kids?
Right, so let's get that straight. The superintendent in Swampscott is a transgender. And again, here's a guy. Boy, is he a role model, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a role model to follow.
Yeah.
A guy dressing up like a woman? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the man that's got mental illness.
Yeah.
And yet, now, but let's bring it into Framingham. Framingham now wants to, they want to do, with the sports. They want to engender, what's it called? They had the thing in the paper, engender. In other words, anybody who was whatever gender they want can go into a girls' locker room or boys' locker room or whatever they think their gender is, they can do it now because Framingham says they can do it.
See, Framingham has a big problem with kids not knowing what sex they are.
Yeah, right.
Okay, it's a pretty big problem here.
I don't know.
What are you going to do with Framingham is Sodom and Gomorrah.
Right.
All right, let's just get that straight. All right, it's Sodom and Gomorrah. What's going on here? You have the school committee, you have the council, city council, mayor. All these people are backing this type of lifestyle up.
Right.
Are you kidding me? Really? And we think that Framingham's going to be a better city to live in?
Well, what's going to happen is you're going to have a lot of kids, impressionable kids, think, well, gee, maybe I'm not female.
Yeah. Well, they want to go into the 5th grade and start teaching these kids. Geez, maybe you have an issue here.
Yeah.
Well,
but you know what? You know what's interesting? I don't have the guy's name, but there's a person who went through this transgender stuff. He became a woman. He lived that life for 12 years, right? He changed back. He wrote a book about it, admitted that he was mentally ill. If you got, I don't know the guy's name. He wrote a book. The school department and everybody involved in that should be looking up this guy's name. Man changes back to a man.
Transgender goes back to original
because
sex.
He realized he was mentally ill. Now they should let the kids read this book because maybe they would realize, gee, maybe I'm in the same position that this guy was. You know, maybe I you know, that's what they should do. Read a book about this guy and what happened to him, instead of just going along with the stupid, oh, they're all transgender and let's do it. You know. So, but Framingham, and you know, you got to admit,
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah, Hugo, who's Jewish or whatever. You know, obviously the Jews are all behind anybody that wants to change their sex or whatever. You know, ridiculous.
Well, all right. Hold on for a second here so we can stop the video. Well, anyway, folks, I think we've covered enough topics for today. Hopefully you can see how insane Framingham is. It's a crazy city, and it's only going to get worse because of how they run things here. And, you know, we hope that there are some of you out there that have enough brains to see that. And I would love if you could get in touch with me. I'll put my email address, my telephone. You can give us a call. There's got to be some sane people in the city of Framingham and Ashland that see what's going on here and that this is just unacceptable for normal people, okay? Us normal people. That's what I think we are, but I'm seeing a lot of crazy things happening that is just completely not acceptable to my viewpoints anyway. All right, well, anyway, I want to thank you for watching this video. I'm Jim Rizoli.
I'm Joe Rizoli.
And we'll talk to you another time. Bye now.